we have a bill that was presented yesterday. This is the library bill that's aimed at trying to protect children from graphic materials that are in the libraries. And if people are telling you they're not in the libraries, well, I've got someone here to coming on who's gonna pound away at that myth that these books do not exist in these libraries. Marianna Cochran is with she is with CleanBooks4KIds. You can go to CleanBooks4KIds.com to see the work that she's been doing. And Marianna, welcome to the program. Please walk us through first, at least, what CleanBooks4KIds is and what you're working on, and then we'll get into this new bill that was presented yesterday.
Certainly. Hey, thanks for the invitation, Matt. Glad to be here. So the short of it is, most people acknowledge the extreme cultural degradation out there, and it's gotten very bad for kids in terms of their books, much more significantly problematic certainly than when I was in school, and then even when you were in school, Matt. And I don't know how young your kids are, but even down to young kids' books, that hypersexualization of kids is everywhere. So first, I want to start off with, it is inarguable that what kids can access via their phones, television, cable TV, movies, etc., streaming is horrid. No one argues that. That's often used as a red herring in this issue regarding kids' books. But what we're talking about, what this bill is talking about, what CleanBooks4KIds is addressing, is books for kids, minors. I'm going to use the terms kids and minors interchangeably, that taxpayers are purchasing for public libraries and, of course, in school libraries. So CleanBooks4KIds is just a grassroots group of folks who have gone into libraries, delved into the catalogs to identify what's in the collection for kids. And we have posted actual excerpts, photos of graphic novels, actual pages out of those books. So you can see for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. And perhaps you might think I'm some kind of prudish senior citizen. No, you can look and see for yourself. And I think most people agree that what we've posted on our website are just egregious examples of what is highly inappropriate for minors. And parents can see for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I've gone through this site before, and you cite pages, you cite the excerpts, and you allow people to see where. I think you've shown where they can look in their library, like the links to the library database to see if it's there.
Yes.
Do you all and are these books also found in some school districts as well?
Yes, I'm sorry to say they are. So the list that is on the CleanBooks4KIds website is only in reference to the Community Library Network and the Coeur d'Alene Library, which are the libraries within Kootenai County, and then one library out in Shoshone County. So it's just what's represented on CleanBooks4KIds, number one, is only a fraction of what's in the collection, because it's what we've been able to find so far. Right. I mean, books are coming in literally every day. The Community Library Network is 7 libraries plus a bookmobile. So they're constantly buying books. Their budget for last year was almost $500,000 for new materials acquisition for adults and kids materials. So there's a significant amount of inflow in addition to the existing collection. So it's just what we found.
And when you say you found, you're literally going in, because you live in Kootenai County, you're literally going into these libraries and seeing them in person.
Yes, I was at one yesterday.
Yeah. And some of these books, the ones that make the headlines, usually are like graphic novels, or they have pictures. And again, I mean, not that this show is meant for children, but we are on in the morning and the daytime. So you never know who's listening. But some of this stuff is, I mean, you had the sheriff of Kootenai County say if one of these books had fallen into the hands of a child, he would have arrested, or he would have taken some sort of recourse investigation as to how that book ended up into a kid's hands. Is that, you're familiar with that when that happened, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I think most people would be shocked. I know I was shocked when I started this 2 years ago of just how degraded these books are, how explicit they are. Here's just one example, Matt, that I came across, and there were several other books by the same author. that was in the young adult section of the Community Library Network. All of these flags that I've identified, I read the whole thing. All of these flags are graphic descriptions of, you've got all kinds of, the main characters in this book are 15. So they're having sex with each other, teenagers. They're having sex with adults. They're having group sex. They're having straight sex. They're having gay sex. They're prostituting themselves. So it's horrific. I literally, when I finished reading this book, I wept with sadness for a child who would read this book. And that's just one.
Yeah. And and that book would be shelved in a young adult section, or a...
Yes, you can see right here on the label that it had a YA, which stands for young adult. Now, due to a significant amount of public uproar, this book was reclassified as an adult book last year, but it was only after there was a huge pushback in the public. In the meantime, how many years, I forgot how old this book was, that it was sitting on the shelf for kids. And I've also found it in school libraries.
Right. Okay, so let's move on to this bill that was presented yesterday. Have you've gotten a chance to look it over a little bit? You can kind of just give me a 50,000-foot view of where you think this bill is, if it's a good start, if it's this total solution, or if it's, you know, where is it from your vantage point?
I don't know that anything can be a total solution, but it's definitely something that's worth passing, because well, first of all, it's ironic that in 1972, so 52 years ago, Idaho's state legislators identified quite explicitly, pun intended, what the definitions are for sexually explicit, obscene material. They laid it out, they described it. But what happened was libraries and schools had an exemption. So what happened was that opened the floodgates for all kinds of horrible stuff to come in. So what this bill does is it essentially removes that exemption. The same definitions are applicable to books in terms of evaluating them. I mean, libraries curate their collection every day. So there's nothing unusual about a library making a decision what to buy. It's not the case that, oh, every library buys anything and anything goes. So this bill just reiterates that in the state of Idaho, we are going to utilize the definitions that have already been outlined and existed for many, many years to evaluate books in terms of what's in the existing collection. Those books will be moved to the adult collection. And then in terms of future purchases, the libraries will have to use these criteria to evaluate which books they purchase. So there's no book banning that's going to happen. Books would just be moved to the adult collection in terms of what's already there.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that point needs to be made clear. This is not banning books. This is moving them away from children. And anybody,
nothing's far-fetched about that.
Nothing is. Yeah. Okay. Give us again exactly how we can help, what the website, how we can follow you, how we can stay in touch.
Okay. CleanBooks4KIds, the number 4, the website. We have a Facebook page. We have a Telegram page. We have a Nextdoor group. If you go onto the CleanBooks4KIds website, you can sign up for notifications about things that we post, everything from developments that the community library makes to something that's in the news to a public comment that our group might make in front of the library board. So this is an ongoing effort. There has been a little bit of progress in Kootenai County. That's good news. There's also some obstacles that we've run into. And that's just Kootenai. We happen to be better off than other parts of the state. So this bill, if it's passed into law, will obviously blanket cover the whole state and really go far and make a huge difference.
Fantastic. All right. Well, this bill is just on its journey. You're just in this county and spreading across the state and getting the word out. So we're going to check back with you often during this this journey of this bill and your efforts to see where you're going, because this is a very important issue. I thank you for your work on this, and I can't wait to have you back.
Great. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Take care. All right, folks, we have a cool guest coming up, so stick around. We'll be right back.